Hello, I'm Momstick. Welcome to episode 18 of BlockHeads. A big thank you to Whitefire and Wizard Crafters for detailing my bridge through the finalization process. I think it looks great, and it matches the overall scheme of the castle on either side of it. But I think Hex has been using cracked stone brick, and stone instead of bits of andesite, to try to incorporate some of the prismarine to match in to just make it look like it's part of the structure. But it comes down to it, this is a different structure, and I think some of the polished andesite adds some nice structure to it. If I say structure one more time, punch me in the face. And I try to narrow this down as much as possible, but the more I narrowed it down to like one singular block, the more it looked unstable. So I left that as like a three-piece with some depth perception in the front and the back, and I think, hey, that'll work. That matches quite well. I was going to do some stairs there, but it looked kind of funny from the sides. So, big thank you to you guys. Of course, you know, you get the buttons. And in the meantime, I have done some other things, like implementing Tweakaroo, which you can, you know, look at shulker boxes like this, see the content, and maybe some other little things. I'm not going to use the hacky parts of it. I just wanted to see inside the shulker box, and I wanted no particle breaking effects whenever I'm doing like haste 2, so that I could see better. Yeah, very cool mod by Masa, I think that's his name. I don't know how to pronounce it fully, but there's a couple other things I've worked on. Let's go over to the turtle farm. Ooh, finally, I've done something over there. Now, I do believe I had posted some screenshots of the progress I had made with the turtle farm, but not so much the outside. Some generic building, got some bushes, you know, just to kind of liven up the area. I thought that was a phantom, but it's just loading in another structure, the mob farm. Yeah, it just kind of livens it up. We've got some torches. Mob proof. You know, I was worried about mobs, the stupid mobs, except for drowns. They come washing up. Like these two drowned heads that washed up on the beach. Ew, gross. It's like dead fish or something. That's what it smells like here. Anyways, inside the turtle farm, we got a couple of free roamers. Hey, these are my buddies. I need to get some name tags and name those. They're my friends. They kind of chill out with me out here in the lobby. And we got the turtle trash can over this way. This is the whole processing center. This is where all the magic happens. You just throw in seaweed and they go to town. And they produce some scoots for us. I think that's the way you say it. Shoots, scoots. Scoots. That's the way you would pronounce it, right? Scoot. And yeah, you know, it's not that productive. I might want to expand that in the future, but it's enough to make a couple of helmets. What in the... Okay. I thought it was mob proof. Let me go sleep somewhere else real quick and just come back, and we need to figure out that little issue. I thought that was a house, but it's a stone. It looks like a house kind of, though. And I think we're good with the mobs. The disadvantages of having an open roof, freaking skeletons can just jump scare you at any time. It kind of freaked me out. I didn't expect that whatsoever. I forgot this was even an open roof. I think the best way to fix this would just to stretch some fence gates across, or fence posts across, so I don't have to worry about them coming in. And as we're on the topic of productivity, I have done something else aside from this offline. We have some items in our ender chest to make productivity just a little better for us and efficiency. And with Tweakaroo, man, I could just swap in here and get my stuff. I just picked up a stack of chicken and a stack of rockets in no time. Actually, let's get an extra stack of rockets. I made a bunch of reserve rockets, so I'm good for a long time. I think I'll be good for a few weeks because I like to fly around a lot. But yeah, this is super nice. I need to start doing this. It just makes things a lot easier for me. And we've got this aquatic box. We need to put in 2 nautilus shells that we had picked up from drowns coming in on the beach. So in total, we should have 6. I bet it's in my valuable shulker box. Yeah, here it is. So nautilus shells, did I not get those out? Aha. Perfect. 6 of those. We need 8 to make a beacon for the sea, conduit, and we will be smooth sailing for an underwater project in the future. Let me grab this and put it into my ender chest. Keep up with that. It's so hard to use the ender chest after not using it for a long time. For some reason, I've always avoided it, but productivity has just gotten insane with it. It just makes me feel so much better when I don't have to run all the way back to get some materials from like spawn or something. Oh goody, great fun in the middle of the desert at nighttime. Just the place I wanted to be. This is what I want to do in Minecraft. Just come over here and just get slaughtered by mobs. Sounds so fun. And usually I'm over here to mine up sand. This is where I do all my mining. Hex has a little thing over the way, and there's a reason I'm here. I was actually not wanting to collect sand, but to utilize some of this desert for the project I was talking about last episode. A dedicated area for villagers, for example, trading, doing some mechanisms and contraptions to make the trading easier. That way we don't have to worry about grinding so much, because it can get kind of tedious when you have to run around the village and find the villagers. It'd be nice to have it all in one setup and all of our villager needs in one area. And this has spiked my interest into an extra little project to go with it, making my first perimeter. Oh, every tech player has got to do it. Simple, big, small, something, some kind of size. We're going to do it. I'm going to do like a rather smaller one because I'm not doing it to utilize space for non-mob spawning. So we're not blocking mob spawning. We are in a way, but we're just kind of buffering it so we don't have to worry about it whenever we're building all the stuff. And I've also got everything laid out in the single player world. We're going to be going over there and checking out RayWorks mechanism and solution for making a perimeter. And I'll explain more of that once we get over there and kind of show you, demonstrate what it does and what a perimeter is. I don't know if some of you are really, like, do you even care about the tech side? Some people just love building and that's all they do. But I'm trying to find a place where there isn't much water. This looks pretty good. Nothing too crazy big, just big enough. I think, what are we facing right now? I think this is north. We'll look, get it all set up whenever I do get my mechanism in place. But let's see if we can trigger scout. Look underneath, see how many water sources are going to get in our way. There's one or two, nothing I'm too worried about. Got a mine shaft though, that could be a big concern. And there is a ravine. We can actually take care of this stuff as the perimeter is being constructed, but for now, let's go over to the creative world. Let me show you what's going on. And I do believe we have found the beautiful side of the creative world. Oh, look what it's about to do. It's about to do that thing where it moves a block forward. Because it's, you know, a fancy flying machine, and they do these kind of things. A big thanks to RayWorks. I'm going to leave a link in the description if you want one for yourself. It's obvious what it does. It's just a TNT Duper that takes out a bunch of blocks that you don't want right below it in a certain perimeter. And let me give you a crash course in perimeters. They're primarily made for clearing out a big chunk of land, so that way you don't have to worry about mob spawning, because mobs will spawn into caves and take up the hostile mob cap. A lot of people are worried about water because this happened. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. I've got my audio turned off so you don't have to worry so much about TNT. But yeah, water will block the exploding effect and your blocks will remain the way they are. That's the reason this is so much deeper. And not only that, it produces obsidian, which will not blow up from TNT. This is just a test world. This is just to test the mechanism out. I'm not necessarily using it to clear out a nice clean cuts perimeter. But yeah, go check out RayWorks' video on this if you are interested in this sort of thing. This seems very promising compared to some of the bigger TNT dupers that you see, like the World Eater, which is just significantly large compared to this. And, you know, for my first perimeter, I wanted something kind of simple, straightforward, and RayWorks filled that for me. So thank you, man. You're great. You're awesome. And I'm excited. I'm super pumped to put this into a survival world. It's one thing seeing it creative, but to see all this work being done by an automation and not having to dig it yourself with haste too, I think that's wonderful. Like, people will be like, dude, you're insane. You done this big perimeter. No, it was the machine. And just look how small this is. It's so small. It's micro. This would cost you nothing if you had a few farms. It's beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. And just for some further testing and my enjoyment, I'm going to let this roll for a time just to see where it goes and see how well it does. I think originally it's supposed to be about 10 blocks above the ground, This is a little bit higher than 10 blocks, but we can get an idea. I think it's about 14 or 13 blocks. Well, funny enough, we're at 13Y level. So if I just went a few more blocks down, it should be able to reach bedrock, and it's still chunking away at it. And of course, you know me, I'm going to stand right here in the middle of terror and see how this thing does. Feels like a sin destroying that machine. It was such a beautiful piece of work. But yeah, I wanted to stop so I can take a look. Oh, look, there's some mine carts. Anyways, yes, the main thing I wanted to look at, about 5 minutes have passed. I just wanted to get an idea of what the floating blocks were going to look like, and apparently there's no floating blocks whatsoever. Beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted, because when we get done with the perimeter, we don't have to fly around with an elytra and pick up blocks with a pickaxe. And there is also maybe like a 5 or 6 blocks extension on the sides of the perimeter. If we wanted to get rid of that in the near future, we definitely could, and it wouldn't be much fuss just getting beacons lined up. Beautiful. It's just gorgeous. The one major thing, one major thing we got to look out for is water. That is destructive. We don't want that in our perimeter. It's going to destroy all of our hard work, and it's just going to make a mess of things if we don't get it all. We'll have to rebuild another flying machine if it gets this bad. I mean, this is a whole chunk that hasn't been dug out. Disappointing. I just realized that there is a village right next to where my perimeter is going to be. So I'm going to block those guys in just to have a few spare villagers. We might actually do some transporting for them. These guys are stuck too against the cactus. I don't know what's going on with it. Anyways, I've done some preliminary preparation for a TNT Duper. This is going to be the box. I've done a lot of surface digging. That way we can get a nice level terrain and work on it from there. Now, I kind of stopped at a certain point. I was like, okay, enough is enough. And I didn't want to do the rest of this layering, which it would be probably pretty easy. But I got a certain time frame that I want to hit for getting my TNT Duper going so I can watch it. I don't really want to go AFK. I kind of want to keep an eye on it. Because once that thing's going, it's going. And if you unload the chunks, then it breaks. So we got some work ahead of us. And I've cleared a lot of water sources underneath where the actual perimeter is. I think I got most of it. Now, I know there's some lava lakes on the very bottom where the bedrock is. So I'm not too concerned about those. But I am looking for lava sources that might be kind of high up. And I don't want them to create lava towers inside the perimeter. That'd be kind of a mess to clean up. The ones that are lower in the Y level are going to be a lot smaller and easier to manage. And I'm just hoping I can find those water sources, all of them. I think there's might be 1 or 2 that I had spotted last night that I want to check for. And then we'll get this thing rolling. It's going to make passes from this direction and go toward the savannah. Okay, so we're really close to being done. All I have to do is prime this side. And of course, we need some TNT under this. This is what is getting duped. We'll put it right here, and then there should be a coral fan right next to that, which I've got a few of those. Build out this way, and then here it is. We'll put it right there. Should be good to go. And now we just got to get this slime block right here. Nope, not glass block. Slime block would be more preferable. And then if we have an activator rail or a detector rail, my bad. We'll put that there along with a minecart, and then put the minecart in there, do some redstone powerage, and that has been primed. And don't quote me on this, but I think the whole mechanism is complete. I do believe that is it. As far as the TNT Duper goes, I'm going to have to double check my redstone, make sure everything's good. And then we're going to build a return system, which is easy peasy, and we'll get this thing going. This is going to be crazy. All right, so we got the return system in, and I'm really nervous. I am really nervous this isn't going to work out. Something bad's going to happen, but everything should be built correctly. I built this thing maybe a block too low. I have a surface over there I didn't account for. So that's 9 blocks in between that and my TNT Duper. I have this strange feeling that it might blow up a segment of it. But from that distance, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. I'm just afraid of TNT slinging stuff back up, like another piece of TNT and blowing it up. But I cleared it out, you know, just to give it a nice test run. And I think once it gets going, you'll start chipping away at that, and we don't have to worry about it so much. But everything should be clear to the point where it needs to be. I don't think there's any water sources, and if there is, I guess we'll just clear it out once we get to it. And of course, I should probably think about things before I start this thing up. I try to put like a little barrier between my stuff and where everything's exploding. I mean, I don't think it's going to be an issue, but you never know. Like a stray TNT might fly over here. Probably should just put away my shulker boxes to be safe about things, and let's get it rolling. Now, if I do say so myself, that ending tidbit was a little bit disappointing. It got to me a bit. I ran in here early in the morning and had found that it had stopped due to a TNT exploding and launching its way back up and hitting a certain block on the flying machine and making it stop. And upon further examination, I determined that it only blew up one block. It's a piston that it blew up, so we might be saved. I haven't really tried this, and I think this observer will update that piston so that we'll push it this way and go to our return system. I'm really, really hoping that's going to work out. The curl fans should be still intact, so we don't have to worry about the TNT duping. I think it's still duping, so that's fine. Right there is the missing piston, so we got to put a sticky piston right there, and we've got to update that observer. But I don't want to do it as this is all the way up here because I don't want the chance of the TNT landing on this and of course creating more problems than what we need. This has been a super lifesaver if this works out. I really don't want to build that again because whenever I came back running in here early in the morning, I fell out of my like little slime chamber because I forgot I wasn't wearing an elytra, and I had all my important tools like put up, but I had all my redstone I used to build this stuff, this flying machine, on me, and well, this big mess as you'd seen the water source in the time lapse. Okay, moment of truth. To update this, I would prefer something easy to break, so I can just jump back up here like a slime block or something. Only thing is, it might interfering with the pull method, so... Oh, I am so happy right now. That just made my day. Fixed it. All it was a piston. That's all it was. So I'm going to let this continue chipping away at this until it's finished. I've got some obsidian laid out, so whenever it hits that, hopefully it will stop. And I guess I could start working on this mess. This is a mess, but thankfully I've got a bunch of sands from clearing out the desert, and it's making it go relatively quick. I mean, with the sands, it can kind of go down into the lava, take out the sources, and I don't have to worry about it so much. But with my sound off, I got to be really careful about this thing sneaking up on me and really ruining my day, because I don't want it to spit me into lava. That would be terrible. But as you can see, yeah, it's making quick work of the lava. There's a couple of other things I gotta get to aside from this. A bunch of cobblestone on that side. This looks like maybe a few lava sources, and maybe right there, but if they don't have obsidian mixed in with them, they're pretty easy to get rid of. It's just these. You gotta destroy all the obsidian to get underneath where the lava sources are. So I'm gonna be doing this for a time and just kind of let this thing chuck. Now that's what I like to see. Slowly but surely that lava column is descending. There was a single lava source at the very top, almost close to the surface, and I got it before it became too much of a problem. This one I cut off too, and yeah, the TNT Duper's kind of carving through it. You can kind of see it from behind back there. Yeah, it's carved a little path there. Looks like some more lava to take care of though. Whoa, be careful where I'm flying. I've got this big lava lake to take care of, this column, and some obsidian bits, but they're not huge like this one was. I got about 3/4 of this cleared out, all this obsidian. I mean, I got about 2.5 stacks of obsidian from just mining that. And the real pain is the stupid cobblestone. It just takes forever to mine. Now, as for the complete perimeter, we can see the finishing line. Look how close this is to obsidian. So this should stop once it hits the obsidian, and we won't have to worry about it chucking out any more TNT. It'll be complete. That's a fairly large area, guys. And we've come a long way this episode. And as the sun sets, we have our final run. This is about to stop. To the best of my knowledge, anyways. That's it. It's complete. Kind of crazy. It's a baby perimeter, I'm not gonna lie. But man, isn't it just crazy that there's this much space underneath the ground? Wow. I've got so much cleaning up to do. I've got most of that obsidian mess out of the way. This will be relatively simple. This shouldn't be bad at all. Beautiful night time. I'm not even really concerned about mobs anymore. It was really cool seeing that TNT Duper just destroy all the mobs in those caves. But I think that's going to be about it for today's episode, guys. Hope you did enjoy watching. We'll see you next episode. Have a fantastic day. And it's mine. If you made it to this part of the video, are you proud of me?